Good morning, Almond Plants. Today we'll be talking about poinsettias and how to care and set up the displays and merchandise. So to start off with, they do not need direct sunlight, but we do want to make sure that they have a good light source. You also want to make sure that when you're watering, that you're keeping the soil moist. You don't want to overwater. And then the temperatures between 60 and 65. That's why we keep them inside, out of the cold. And next, poinsettias are not poisonous. They can cause some irritation or upset stomach, but it's not one where ingesting them is going to cause dangerous harm. And then the sap can be sticky and irritable if you have that on you as well. For setting the tables, you'll normally do a 4-grid set, which we'll show an example in a second. Here we only have 2. You do want to make sure you check in your order for accuracy. It is a lot to count, but you want to make sure you're getting everything you're supposed to. When you're going to your tables, it's 3 bricks and 4 bricks high with an end cap. Again, we'll show you how to demonstrate and merchandise on this. Here is the example of what a 4-grid set would look like, and you can see we put an end cap on it as well. But if you don't have room for 2 grids next to each other, you're going to have to do 4 grids in a row, but you will end up needing all of those 4 grids to merchandise all the poinsettias you will get. All right, as you merchandise, you are going to leave all the poinsettias in the wrappers except for the outside ring of product. Here you can see she's making sure she's keeping the labels out, keeping them organized. And again, it's just the outside row that's going to have the wrappers taken off at this time. All right, so here you can see we got more of the product on the table, wrappers removed from the outer ring. You want to make sure that you're getting all of your pots organized and set to the edge of the table. And then underneath is where you'll end up stashing some of the excess product. Here you can see we've got the 6-inch pots that are underneath. You want to go 2 to 3 rows, whatever you can reach that you can be able to pull back out to water properly. Here's our end result, and as you can see, we've wrapped product all the way around. We've got more stashed underneath. The outside wrappers have been removed from all the product and labels are showing. At our strike points, we've got more product. Normally this will be some different pots that you can put there. We just don't have a lot of variety right now. Okay, so here as we go back, you've got more underneath, and you'll have your good blocks of color going across. We would stripe once we get the other 2 tables up, so you'll have this product going all the way across. It's just right now we've only got 1 table, so this is an example of what we can do. 2 quick tips. The white sap on the plants is very sticky and it will get in your clothes, on your hands. Make sure you're wearing your gloves. And also watch out for the glitter from these little spiny things that come on the square pots. You will have glitter and sap all over the place. Okay, when it comes to watering, find what works best for you, but my quick tip for watering is to get yourself an empty rack. The outside layer has already got the wrappers off, so it's easy, but when you're watering, what you've got to do is make sure you get it into the soil, and there's a little hole inside each wrapper like this, where you've got to feed the watering can. Now, you also want to make sure that the foil is pulled back so that you don't drop water just in between the foil and the pot. Otherwise, it ends up on the bottom right there, and you get a nasty little mix of dirt and sludge. All right, so for the watering though, what I do is I usually end up putting the first row that I'm going to be watering on the rack itself so that I've got an empty gap there. And then what I'm going to do as I water is I just end up going through one thing at a time, pulling these over as I water so that I can just maintain those rows. Then when I'm done, I go back, I pull what's off the rack, put it on that last row, and then you filled in that hole right there. So that way you're not having to fight through each plant or each flat, everything else. You've got that extra space on the table to work with while you're watering. I'll show you an example of this when we all have our meeting. All right, so here's a few shots of our finished table, and you can mix it up as you need to. We still want to maintain small to tall and like with like, but you can vary up which product you're using where, as long as it looks good on the table. And that does lead to, we do have a little competition later in the season where the best display, from the stores wins. So, get out there and have fun with it.